Okay, I'm glad everybody had the time to join tonight. We got a lot to cover, so I'm just going to jump into it. First thing we need to do per the agenda is approve the minutes. But before we approve the minutes, I have a amendment that I'd like Beverly to do and then or go back and do. So when I went back to read the minutes, the, and Beverly, you do a great job with the minutes. The only thing I saw for the board minutes was in the people that were present, you listed Suzanne Dont twice. And I think one of those needs to be Suzanne Packard.
I think Packard was listed twice, but yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, I got it backwards.
Yeah.
My
I did
bad.
catch that.
Okay, so I recommend that the minutes be approved as written with that correction.
A second.
Yeah, okay, we have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, great. Next is the finance report. Okay. And let me see if I can find the one Frank sent me so I can pull.
Victor, you're muted again.
Let me do this. How's that? Is that okay?
Yes,
Good.
I can hear you.
Okay. Let me find Frank's email. Here it is. Okay. Let me share the screen. Okay. Can y'all see the finance report?
Yeah, got it.
Okay, go ahead, Frank.
Okay, so beginning balance 2445.60. We had $210 memberships, 7 memberships come in, interest of 30 cents. So 210.30 was the income. And so the new available is 2655.90. We had no expenses for the month. And so that's our ending balance is 2655.90. And I've been staying close with Beverly and Holly on giving the names as people are paying, and they've been publishing back, or Beverly's been publishing back the list of people that have paid their dues, and we are, as far as I'm concerned, we are in sync right now.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so the Beverly, the last membership roster you sent out is up to date.
Yes.
Okay.
And I agree with that.
Okay. Okay. Then there's nothing in the bylaws that says we have to approve the report. It just says it has to be given. Okay. And Frank, I thank you for keeping up with that. I do want to ask, where are we with the bank account?
If you're asking about the signature issue that
Yes.
came up, yeah, okay. So when Sharon converted the account over to me, we went in, and then we needed some more paperwork, and we had to go in the next Saturday, and then they wanted Holly there because Holly's signature was on the account as well. And we made the decision to just take Holly's name off the account so that we could get the transfer done at that time. And so as of right now, my name is the only one on the account for the club. And I'm asking the board if we think that there should be a second name and second signature on the account. Just the thought is, if I get hit by a bus tomorrow, how does the club get access to the money that's in the account. And so I guess, Victor, up for discussion, should we have a second signature on this account, or are we okay with just me?
Okay, I'll go around the room and ask everybody what their thoughts are. Okay. And I'll start with Holly since she was on there.
Well, we never had need for me to be used as a second backup person. The only time I need any information is for the renewal of the website, which is every 2 years. And we have a debit card associated, I think, with that checking account. So I just got that number from Sharon last time. And so I think it's smart to have it as a backup. It doesn't hurt anything to have a second person on the account, but we haven't had need to use it thus far.
Okay. Suzanne Don.
I absolutely think you should have two names on the account. Not that Frank's going to get hit by a bus, but maybe he'll take vacation and we need to have a check written for whatever reason. I think it's prudent to have at least two signatures. Not that they both have to sign every check, but either or.
Okay. Suzanne Packard.
I agree. I think having a co-owner on the account, yes.
Beverly.
Yeah, I agree. I think there should be two names on the account. Although
Aye.
one of, only Frank has to really sign the checks, but there should be a second person that could get to the account.
And Carol.
I agree. There should be a second person that could do business on behalf of the club.
Okay. So it sounds like we're pretty much in sync, because I can tell you the reason we put Holly on the first time was after I found out it would cost way more than what we even had in the bank had something happened to Sharon to get the money out. So, I mean, if something were to happen to Frank, that money's lost. We would never see it. It's just gone because it wouldn't be worth it in attorney fees to file to get it out. So that's my position. My next question though is, Holly, if it's inconvenient for you, then I'll go ahead and be the second signatory. Okay. And it's probably a good idea because I know over the last 3 years, we've loaded Holly's plate up with a bunch of additional duties, and we probably need to start pulling some of those back and farming them out to other directors. So where we'll go as of today is Frank, get offline with me. Let's set a time that both of us can go to the bank, and you pick the bank, you pick the day, okay? And I'll make it happen. Okay.
Okay, it's Randolph Brooks over here on 46.
46.
Oh, in New
Is that the one? Is that
New
the one next?
Brunsville.
Is that the one next to Coles?
No,
No,
it's out near T-Bar M. So near
Is that the loop?
You
The
can go
46
to any
loop?
branch though. You don't have, you could go to.
that's
any
true. We
branch.
could go to any branch. Let's figure it out offline, but
Okay.
we'll get it taken care of.
All right, we'll do that.
Okay, thank you. I feel better now.
Okay.
I mean, you could, if something were to happen to me, somebody could drain the account with the card, right, Holly? If it's not pretty, but it's much
This
better
is
than hiring.
recorded. This is recorded, and I don't want anything related to bank fraud.
Okay.
Okay.
Beverly,
Okay.
don't forget to include that in the minutes.
okay, yeah, I've got it written down.
Yeah. Beverly, strike all that. Okay. Okay. Okay, good. All right, done. Okay. The next item on the agenda is general meeting status. Okay, so Holly, do you have any emails accumulated from, we asked the membership to provide input?
Just, we only got feedback from 2 people, and it
Two?
was pretty much
Okay.
just leave it as it is and end the meeting earlier.
Okay. All right. Once again, I'm gonna go around the room, and we'll start with Holly. Holly, give me your thoughts.
I think that's probably the path of least resistance at this point. Being able to cut out all the business stuff from the meeting and put it in a newsletter saved a ton of time, and we were able to get through the images. Although we're just reading judge feedback this last time, and we didn't have an interactive, where everybody participated with feedback. So I think we'll have to still kind of play around with the timing and see if it works. But I'm fine with leaving it the way it is.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna come back to one item you said, but after we get done. Suzanne Donk?
I like the format. I like the idea of having a newsletter and not having every meeting consumed with doing business. That being said, I think you had mentioned to me once that at the beginning of the year, there is necessarily a lot of business that needs to be addressed, and maybe at the beginning of the year or on an ad needed basis, we say, okay, now we're going to have a meeting and we're going to discuss these business things that should be discussed as an organization, rather than just put out in a newsletter. But I like the format that we're doing now. But I also echo Holly's comments. It would have been nice to hear feedback from other people within, the club for the photos, if we have time.
Okay. Right.
Yeah, I agree with Holly and Suzanne. I don't have anything to add to that. I think that's a good approach.
Suzanne?
I agree.
Okay, Beverly?
Yeah, I agree.
Carol?
I agree as well.
Okay, all right. So I'm gonna come around one more time. It sounds like the consensus is you'd prefer to rather than hearing judges' feedback, you'd prefer to hear feedback from the club. Holly?
Yeah, because we can't consistently count on the judges getting us feedback in time for the meeting. Like, I don't think we're going to have, feedback by Monday. It's possible they did last time, but it's not at all usual or typical. And that we already send the judge feedback out in email and post it on Facebook. So I think that's probably adequate from a PSA standpoint.
Okay, Suzanne? And
Yeah,
and girls, you know your order, okay? I'm going down, I'm going from top to bottom here, okay?
I agree with what Holly said. The PSA feedback, it's already available, online when it comes out. So, yeah.
Okay, Frank?
Yeah, I agree.
All right. Suzanne?
Oh, I agree. I think also I think the judges, the last judge, although very constructive, she I can't think of the right word, but she was more harsh than other judges, and I feel that perhaps maybe reading those in private would be better.
Okay.
I
Beverly?
I learned a lot from her comments, but I don't know how other people felt.
Okay. Beverly?
Okay, I think that, yeah, I think the interaction from the group would be good as to giving, the members giving their opinions and things and suggestions, since the judges' stuff is posted and can be looked at,
Yeah.
whenever we want to.
Okay. All right. Carol?
And I agree. I think the judge's comments being posted elsewhere is valuable. And so hearing from the club gives everyone another perspective. And so I think that becomes then a little more well-rounded. The thing I did like is when the judge provides the adjustments to the picture, So being able to see the before and the after adjustments is also valuable. And so I saw that we posted that this time around as well. So as long as the club is getting, or the members of the club are getting somewhat well-rounded feedback, hearing from the club's important as well.
Okay, good. Okay. So we will, we'll forego reading the judge's comment. But I did get the judge's feedback back yesterday. And they provided feedback, but they did not provide photos, or redone photos. So all we have is the feedback. And Holly, I'll get that out to you. Well, I'll send. Oh gosh, dog! I was supposed to send you a PowerPoint too, wasn't I?
That's okay. I just went ahead and did the slideshow from scratch. So I can get that to you. How about I'll need the judges' comments by Tuesday, because I don't want to send them out prior to the meeting. We'll have the meeting first, announce the winner, and then we can share judges' feedback after that.
Okay. All right. Okay, so, all right. Okay. Well, then it sounds like the plan is to not change anything except shut the meeting down at 7:45 and put up chairs then. Okay? All right.
I'll update the website, and everywhere we have published where meeting times run, I'll change that to 7:45 end time.
Okay.
Could we go back to the gallery view instead of screen sharing? Because
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
oh no, that's okay. I prefer to see all you guys if I can.
I'm an accountant. I like the financial report.
Okay, let me
Be
close.
careful, Suzanne. I said that a couple of years ago.
Oh. You're doing a great job, Frank.
Okay, next item on the agenda is photos Semprembre. And I'm working from notes here, so if I get it wrong, somebody say something and I'll try to fix it. So photos Semprembre this year is going to be from 13 September to 28 September. Okay, for us. All right. And the reason it wasn't put up for debate or anything like that is the New Braunfels Convention Center. Those were the only dates they would give us. Okay. So we can do a show at the New Braunfels Convention Center. We've done 2 in the past there before. And the install date would be Wednesday the 13th. The show would run from the 14th to the 27th. We would have a closing reception on the 27th, which is a Wednesday, from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. The fee for everything they're giving us is $6,300 that they're going to comp. And that includes the cost of shutting down while we install, the cost of not being able to rent out their wall space for that two weeks. And then on the reception day, they're going, in the past, they've said, well, because we're letting you be here for free, we can't actually let you have a room because we'd have to charge you. Well, the new director says, I'll give you 2 rooms, and they're the green room 1 and 2, which is right next to the outdoor patio area. not by the fountain, but inside the brick wall. They call it the garden area, for the reception. Okay. And then the tear down would be the next day. What I envision is we would do, 4 to 9 is okay. We show up at 4, we set up. People probably start showing between 5 and 6. Between 6 and 8, we have the reception, and then between 8 and 9, we walk out in the hallway, and people take their pictures home with them. And then for the tear down on the 28th, I would go in and be there to supervise their staff taking our chains down off the wall. I revisited some photos from the last time we did it there, and I think we had 42 photos there. So based on going through the pictures and counting everything. So on the wall, we can fit 42 prints. And if we have more people that want to participate, that will push the print number higher than 42, we have our freestanding racks that we could put up to put some prints on, like we did when we did the spring show at the Art Council's brick and mortar location before they had to give it up because of COVID. Let's see. And then, okay, I'll cover this item after we have our discussion. So now that we've gone back to this gallery view, all y'all are out of order. So I just chime in, okay? The opportunities there, we can go back to the convention center and say, we don't have enough interest yet, and not do it, or we can start moving forward and making plans. Okay. So okay, Carol, you go first.
I think it's a great opportunity. I thought you had polled before who was interested in participating. Did we get enough interest at that point, do you think?
The first time we did it, no. But then I'm at a loss to remember why, but something happened when it was brought up last to say we should move forward with it. So, and continue to try. I know last year there was not enough interest. Okay. So obviously this is something that when the newsletter goes out, we'll announce that we'd like to do it, and people will have to respond and tell us how many prints they think they could support the project with, to see if we could even have a show. Because we can always go back and cancel with the convention center. But I wanted to get it, since they were amenable to doing it again, I wanted to get the dates locked in before some other company came in and locked those and signed up to do something on those dates, and we couldn't do it at all. So
Then I would say let's lock us in, since we have the option to cancel. And, maybe we could consider bringing some of the student pictures in if we don't get participation like we want from the club members.
that's not a bad idea. In fact, I kind of like that idea.
I like that idea,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do too.
So
especially since they're
Victor,
waiving a fee.
Go ahead, Frank.
Not having done this before, is this just a gallery show? Is this work for sale? Is it a competition? Would it be just us in the convention center? I don't know much about it.
It's all of that. Okay. So in the concourse, we have the wall space. If you depends on which side you come in, what I call the back or the front. But the big exhibit halls, it's the wall space on that side, and on either side of an entry door, there's room to, on one side, there's room to put 2, maybe 3, depending on how you do it. But I think last time we only put 2, and then you can put anywhere from 2 to 4 on the other side of the entry door. And then the spaces between the columns to where there's no door, we put up to.
We did 4.
No, we did. I think we had. Did we do 2 solid 4s or 3 solid 4s? Well, how many doesn't matter, but that's where it would be. Okay. And then we put up our freestanding racks. We will put them somewhere inside that could be seen as people walked up and down. Now, here's what happens the 2 weeks the show is going. For every conference that is in there, you got, and one day I went up there to check on the prints, make sure they were okay. And HEB was having a conference, and there was 500 people up there. And when people were on break during the conference, they were out walking the halls, going to get their coffee or their soda. And then they were looking at the art. Now, your next question was, is it for sale? We put the cards up next to the print. You put what the title of it is, what type of, whether it's archival paper or whatever, and then your contact info and how much you're willing to sell it for, if you're willing to sell it. Okay. And the third question is, we made it a competition because everyone sent me the digital file for the prints they were going to hang, and I sent those to PPA for judging, and we passed out ribbons. I'm pretty sure we passed out ribbons.
Yeah.
I know we at least gave we gave something.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. So that was Frank's questions. What is everybody else's input?
Well, I went and looked at the Facebook poll that we ran. It was in April last year. And at that time, we had about 30 to 35 images committed. We had 7 people say they could submit 4 or more images, and then 3 people that would do 1 each, and then a couple of onesie twosies and comments. So we could do that kind of thing again and see, we had, no, I'm not interested in participating. Yes, I'll show 1. Yes, I'll show 2. Yes, I'll show 3. Yes, I'll show 4. I could do that kind of poll again if you'd like.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Okay.
And if you said last time it was like committed to 35 images. And so we had extra space. I like the idea of adding something from the kids. Okay. So I would say if we could fill the wall space with images from our members, we could use the freestanding racks that we have to put images from the kids up.
It's a great idea.
I love that idea.
Yep.
Okay. So if everybody's okay, well, rest of you guys, Beverly, Suzanne, both Suzanne's, what's your feedback?
I think it's a good idea. I think we should try to go forward with it.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree.
Okay. All right. Then I'd say the next step is for Holly, send out that Facebook.
I'll do an email blast too.
I'm sorry?
I'll do an email blast also. in case somebody's not on Facebook, they can
Okay.
let us know of interest via email.
Okay, and Holly,
Yeah.
I don't have Facebook, so I won't reply there. The email, I'm just gonna let ride. Just know right now that I will support with 4 prints
Okay,
if we can't fill the space.
okay,
But just like always, my prints go up last only if there's space left. Okay, okay.
And then one other thing, Victor, is maybe we give participation points to club members who participate in Photo September, since you're
Yeah.
keeping that points thing.
Yeah, that's a given. In fact, when I first announced that, I said, used to, we would do shows and we could get points that way.
Yeah.
So, participating in a show anywhere, as long as you let us know, okay, point. Because, well, I'm getting off topic, but yeah, you're right on track. Okay, so we're right there with you. Okay, last thing I got as far as the convention center is concerned is that the new director, when I was there talking to her, I noticed that their entire office suite, which consists of 2 rooms, has been remodeled, and there is nothing on the wall. Now, I was assuming, as I was walking out, I thought to myself, well, they probably just haven't gotten around to putting up their bulletin boards and stuff like that, and their little racks with all their flyers and stuff like that. I just made the comment, well, we could provide you on a rotating basis some art to fill this empty space you got here. And she said, that would be awesome. So, if anybody, nothing firm, nothing written in stone, but the gentleman's agreement was kind of like, well, it looks like based on the space that you have to work with, we could potentially provide 3, maybe 4 pieces of work on a rotating basis, say like every 90 days. And I asked, would you have a problem if there was like a 3x5 card next to the artwork, identifying who the artist is, and if someone wanted to buy it, how they could contact them? And they said, sure, not a problem. Okay. Is that something you, yeah, now that's a rabbit hole I stepped into, just making an off the wall comment walking out. But is it something you think you want to pursue? And if it's not, fine. Since I stepped in the hole, I'll fill the hole.
I'd say yes for me. That I think it's great for the artist that would be up there on a rotating basis, and I think it's a great way to build relationships in the community.
Absolutely, I agree.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so I got at least 2 people that helped me put a print on the wall. Okay. All right. So I'll put something in the newsletter, if not this newsletter, next month's newsletter. Because right now we're still going back with forth on the mounting process, because like I said, the room's been remodeled and it sounds like they don't want to put holes in the wall. So we're talking command strips right now.
Yep.
So I said I would research it. I know from experience from past shows, command strips over time tend to give away, and we have had prints fall and hit the floor. So you have to balance it with, okay, well, we're not going to put a heavily weighted frame piece of work, but maybe we put a lightweight canvas up there or something like that. And then I have to research the different types of command strips based on the weight distribution, because I was up at Precision Camera this morning on another topic, and I noticed on their walls in the classroom, all the way around the wall, they had two command strip type hangers side by side, and it looks like they were using two to support heavy artwork. So it's something I'll get into. But if everybody's okay with it, I'll move forward on that project and probably have more to report on it at the next, probably next month's newsletter, since we don't have another board meeting for 3 months. Okay. Any last questions about that before I move on?
No.
Okay. All right. The youth photo contest. We have over 50 kids, over 150 photos. And our judges is going to be Sandy, Holly, Suzanne Daunt, Carol, and Bill. Okay. Now, Sandy and Bill know what time to be there, which is tomorrow at 4 p.m. We hope to get everything judged between 4 and 6. Okay. I've already told Sandy and Bill, because they were at the coffee this morning. While we're there, I will give out judging assignments and show you where the photos are that you need to judge, and what the parameters are. And then I'll be going around with double-sided tape and other repair materials, because I swear, I think they sent the photos out to be matted by the kindergarten class down the road. A lot of them are coming apart. So while y'all are doing your thing, I'm gonna be going around repairing a lot of the mats and securing the prints and going from there. Okay.
I have a question. Is there more than one judge per category? Or does everybody judge everything?
Okay. Last year we had one judge per category. What I want to try to do this year is have at least 2 judges. I'm going to assign one judge per category. And then if time permits, and to be honest with you, I think it will. Okay. I want to, like, musical chairs. Okay. Slide everybody over to a different category and let you go judge that. And then let's look at the results. Okay. Because here's how it's going to play out. One thing we did different this year from last year. Last year, there was not a limit on how many photos you could submit. We had 30-something kids and 130 photos, I think. But we had multiple kids win multiple prizes, like first place in portrait and third place in portrait. Not only did they win first place and third place in portrait, but they won first place in sports and second place in sports. Okay. So I said, we got to try to share the wealth. I may have one photographer win first place in every category, but they're not going to win multiple places in the same category. So that's why I put that in there this year. And with that said, some of the kids didn't pay attention to the information packet. I've got like 3 kids that submitted more than one photo per category. So with that said, like, I've got one kid that entered 5 or 6 portraits. Well, the portrait judge, when you come back to me and say, this is my first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth pick, you got to pick your top 6. Well, if your first and third is the same person, well, then that person's disqualified after they got picked for first from taking anything else down the line. So that means all your picks move up one, okay? And then you gotta go find another sixth place pick or something like that. And I'm kind of hoping that, and with that hiccup that we got to deal with, there may not be time to do a second judging. So you may be the only judge on your account. Okay. All right. And once you pick your first through sixth place, and the only reason we're picking a sixth place is because I take all the first place photos from the high school winners and the middle school winners. And we give them to the grand judge. Okay. Last year it was Amanda. I don't have a commitment for a grand judge. And if I don't get one, then that's where I will come back to you 5 judges and say, you need to decide on a best in show. And then when that first place photo is picked as best in show, it gets elevated. And then your number 6 alternate gets moved up to number 5, and number 2 gets moved up to first, 3 gets moved up to like that. Okay. And hopefully we'll have more winning kids walking out of the library than we did last year. Okay. I mean, we've got 51 prizes. I would love for 51 kids to walk out winners, and not, last year we had 26 prizes, and I think we had 12 kids walk out as winners. Okay.
Yeah, one girl pretty much sweeped the categories.
Oh yeah, she did. Now
She was good.
take nothing away from it. She was an awesome photographer.
Yes.
Okay.
She was.
But that's but I needed to find a way to level the playing field and make it more
I agree with you, Victor.
Okay. All right, I appreciate that. Okay. Okay, Carol, while we're at it, are you ready to give us an update on where we're at with donations?
Yes, let me pull that up just a moment.
Okay. While you're pulling that up, my question to you 3 here that are judges, will you be there on awards day?
I will not.
You can't be there?
No, it's on the 15th, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. I'm flying to Europe.
Oh gosh, dog. Okay.
April 15th, I'm going to be on my first ever cruise.
Oh gosh,
Right.
dog.
Good
Okay.
job.
All right. Frank?
Who approved these things?
Frank? Will you be there on the 15th?
I'm not judging.
Wait a minute. Wait a
You
minute.
want to?
Oh, that's right. That's right. I'm sorry. It's Sandy, Holly, Suzanne, Don, Carol. All right. Oh, Carol, you gonna be there?
I am going to be there.
Okay, good. I got Carol. Okay. All right. Well, guys, y'all have fun on your little trips. Okay. You will be missed. Okay. Do me a favor before you leave for your trip. Send me a headshot. Okay.
I've been wanting to update mine for so long. Does anyone want to do it for me?
Okay. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. I need a headshot.
I'm not kidding
Okay.
either. I need someone to take one.
Yeah, okay. All right.
All right. So we have $555 of confirmed, I believe, in hand. Let me see. Yep, confirmed and in hand. And then we still have Chipotle pending. Victor, unless you've heard from them. Jason's Deli, which was going to be sending it to the library if they were going to approve it, and we haven't heard anything from the library.
I
And
had some gift cards from Chipotle. You didn't get them? You got them, didn't you?
yes, but this
Okay.
was
There's
one
more?
that I submitted online. Yep.
Okay.
So there's a potential that we would have another, let's see. Well, we wouldn't know what the dollar amounts are because that was pending. So there could be 2 more gift cards coming, TBD, but if not, we're standing at $555 worth of donations.
Okay, so the Chipotle thing, I got an email from them for that online donation thing.
Uh-huh.
They are sending a something to the Greater New Braunfels Art Council's post office box that is basically some queso and chips coupons.
Okay.
So I told Felicia to be on the lookout for that. And if it comes in before the contest and we get it, great. If it doesn't, then we'll just tell Felicia to use it at an art mixer. Okay.
Sounds good.
But most of these donations that we have in hand are mainly what, $5 to $15, $25 gift cards for different things.
We have two sets of tickets to the theater, and their one envelope is $50 value and the other envelope is a $50 value. We have 5, 10, 15, 24 $10 gift cards, a $25 gift card, $100 gift card. So most of them are $10 gift cards with multiple $10 gift cards, I should say.
Okay. I got that $100 gift card. Is that the gift card from Target?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So when we're at the library tomorrow, I want to talk to you guys about how best to use these gift card type donations. Last year we had raffle tickets and we gave tickets at the doors. People came in, and during the course of the day, in between awards, we gave door prizes. Okay. We did not take any of these extra things that we go out and get. Okay, fur baby. All right. And the put in the prize packages. So we can talk about that at the library.
Okay.
All right. Let's see. So I'm going to need for any of you guys, and I guess it's not Holly, it's not Suzanne. Ms. Packard, will
Yes,
you
I'm
be
here.
able to be there?
Oh, on the 15th?
Yes.
I have another commitment on the 15th.
Okay. Miss Beverly?
I'm looking at my calendar.
What time is it? It's during the day, right?
Yeah, it's during the day. 12 to 4 is the time slot the library's committed to us, but to be honest with you, everything we got to do, we got to be in there around 11 o'clock and do some prep work before we move into the room.
Yeah, I have another commitment.
Okay. Frank, I know you said you weren't a judge, but can you be there to help?
I can be there. That's Saturday, April 15th.
Yes.
Yeah, I can help.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah, I
great.
can help. I can help.
Okay.
Frank, do you have a headshot I could borrow of you?
Let me, I need to think if I know any good photographers. I think I might know one or two.
Okay. All right. Okay. Another thing is I've been in conversation with the director at the headwaters. Everybody know what the headwaters is?
No,
Everybody know where the Fall into Art Festival was the first year we did it after COVID? Back there in the boonies.
Oh, no.
Not
No.
familiar.
Okay. Well, anyway, it's an old New Braunfels water pumping station, the original pumping station that has been basically decommissioned, and it's been turned into a nonprofit, kind of like a garden area. Now it's still under construction. There are some buildings there that is from the old pumping station, but they have done, they've made walking paths next to the creek. There, it's not a bad spot. It's not something you really want to do a big venue in, but it's a place you can go. They have a place to where you could conduct classes, and do a small photo walk type event. Okay. So an idea that I had was doing maybe 2 photography workshops for the kids of this photo tournament this summer. And they're willing to let us lock in like 2 Saturdays, maybe one in May, one in June, or one in June, one in July, and to where we would bring out 2 or 3 of us to like mentor these kids. We'd come up with a topic, and present the topic, that they're going to let us use their meeting room for any presentation stuff that needs to be done. And then we can walk out onto the grounds and do some hands-on work with the camera. Okay. Is anybody, so my question is, and I guess I was looking for, we could present this as a prize or as an invitation, and they can either come or not. What do you think? Don't everybody speak at once.
Well, if you have 50 kids and they all want to, are we going to be able to manage that?
If we have 50 kids, that's why I had no multiple dates. We would, limit the number of kids per date.
Yeah.
So I can go up to 3 dates if I have to. So we could do like, 10 to 12 kids per week. I mean, per day, per month. Yeah, because I want to keep it small because I don't want it to get out of control.
Right.
Okay. So, I mean, it's just a thought.
I think we could pilot it and see how it goes. And if it's a hit, maybe that's something that we do.
Okay.
And could membership help us with potentially those dates?
Oh yeah, that's what,
With the
yeah.
mention.
Yeah, we would ask membership to come out because this is where we take on our role as mentors.
Yep.
Okay. And to be honest with you, some of those kids are better than I am, I think. So maybe they need to mentor me.
What kind of camera do you think these kids are using? Are these all going to be with phones? Do you think
No.
any of them have mirrorless cameras, or
Some of these kids have some high-speed cannons. So high school kids anyway.
yeah? I
so-
just thinking about if we're going to do a workshop, we should think about what equipment they have or that they're using.
Right. Okay. Let's see, as, okay. And then the next thing, Holly, last year we offered everybody free membership and nobody took us up on it, right?
That's correct.
Okay. So this year, I'm going to print up like certificates for free membership because we just made the verbal offer. And I know when those kids walked out the door, it was in one ear, out the other. But you also sent an email to all the winners, right?
I did. Yes.
Okay. But then, you know, they get into summer and do their summer thing. I think one of the things we'll put in their prize package is a gift certificate for their membership to the youth part of the New Braunfels Photographic Society.
Victor, I think that's a really good idea, and I'm speaking from personal experience of doing that photo competition, that San Antonio photo competition.
Yeah.
And so you have like your little goodie bag, and sometimes it takes me a week or two to go back through that goodie bag to see what's in there. So I think that would be a really good way to remind them that that's available to them.
Okay, great, thanks.
I think if they're going to check out the club ahead of time and want to look like on our YouTube channel or something, have them start watching meetings from last month forward. Because if they just are like checking out and see 20 minutes of us talking about business stuff, they're going to be like, oh my God, this bunch of old people are so boring, and they're not going to want to come.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so that's all I have on the youth photo contest. Okay, okay. The next item on the agenda is PSA sponsorship, youth sponsorship. So I'm gonna turn it over to Carol so she can give us an update on that.
Yep. So with the youth showcase and sponsoring high schools, we can sponsor multiple high schools. So I will share that with you all. But this year we limited it to New Braunfels High School based on our relationship with Mr. Dan Dunn. And so within the program itself, for each high school, they are limited to 18 total entries. They can do 8 prints or 8 projected. Since we didn't do prints this year, we didn't have time to do prints. We only did projected. So they were limited to 8 projected. And they also have limits in the categories. So 4 of the categories are limited to 1 projected image and 1 print. And then there's 2 categories that allow you to have 2 of each. So total from New Braunfels High School were 8 projected images and 8 different students submitted, or actually more than 8 students submitted, but Dan looked at the photos first and then sent us the ones that he felt were worthy of being included in the contest. Let's see, the ages range from 16 to 18. So we did have to have parent signatures on some of the entry forms. And there were 3 model releases that needed to be submitted with that. And we did get everything submitted on Saturday. We did have to move 2 pictures into different categories. We had 1 monochrome that was entered into the color choice, and there is a specific requirement that says you can't submit monochrome in the color choice. So we moved it over to monochrome. And then I got a note back on Monday that we submitted 2 for the people and animals, and it was limited to 1. So we moved 1 of those from the people and animals into the color photo. So we met requirements across all the categories in the end. And it's very motivating to see all of the different pictures. And if I had them right here, I'd pull them up and show them all to you all. But students are very creative, very talented, and did a really good job with it. I'm not sure at this point how long it will be till we hear back from PSA. Their deadline was on the 6th. But I know their program starts, they will have everything completed by the summer because that's when they start presenting the information as a part of the program. So I'll stop there and ask if there's any questions.
One question I have is as far as the prints go. Okay, so I think I heard you say we could submit up to 16 photos, but that's broken down 8 in print and 8 in projected.
Yes.
Okay, so keep this in the back of your head for next year. I believe that if I believe I could get a print lab to print those 8 photos, okay, so that the kids wouldn't have to bear that expense.
So I think if we get started in October, which is when the program opens up, we'll have more time. We were trying to this year run it simultaneously with the youth photo contest, but because of the deadline for PSA and the timing of our local photo contest, it makes it too difficult to try and run them concurrent. So we are going to have to separate it. But if we get started in October, I think we'll be able to do, you know, the prints as well. And we have to mail those prints in on behalf of the students. So, you know, if we can support them by getting the printed and then get them sent off, we'll be in a better place.
Okay.
The thing with this program is, unlike the other PSA contests that we participate in, where you load up the release and you don't have to do anything but load it up, in this case, the entry form has to be keyed in for every student, and it's a full page form with address, telephone number, emails, parents information, school information, teacher information, club information that has to be typed for each student. And so I got it all done. I didn't know I was going to have to do that. So we learn right as a part of the process. So, you know, for one person, I think you could probably handle 2 high schools. So I know Victor and I talked about, you know, if we're going to expand this and we want to do that in the award ceremony, is to let the students know that we are participating in this, and if their school is interested, to let us know. If we get more than 2 high schools, it will take more than just one person to help get this up and running, or get all the submissions in anyway.
Yeah, I think the ideal situation here would be first we have to find out how many of our members, and it would have to be a PSA member, is willing to take on that responsibility of the working with the school and uploading the photos and inputting that data, because one school was a lot. Carol says she thinks she can handle 2 schools, but I prefer one person per school. So like if after the photo competition, not this Saturday, but next Saturday, after the award ceremony, and we announced that we supported New Braunfels High School on this endeavor, and if there's, let your teachers at your schools know, and if you're interested in participating next year, contact us. I'd like it to be one club member help support one school, okay, so that the workload isn't really tremendous like that, okay? But that's down the road for next year. But one thing I want to key on that Carol said was part of the award ceremony is going to be us recognizing those 8 students, okay, as their work being selected to go forward to a national competition, okay, and then do our little 3-4 minute salesman pitch to try to get the kids to get their teachers to at least reach out to us and ask about it. Okay. Okay. Thanks, Carol. Okay. Thank you for all the hard work you did on that. Okay. All right. Any questions for Carol? Okay. Next is community outreach. Okay. In that avenue, the West Side Community Center gave us 4 dates that we could do classes. I conducted 1 class already. I had, I think 12 students there. Okay. Went really well. And we had 3 more dates. And so it's like once a quarter. So we're in April. So did that in March. So April, May, June. The next one's going to be in June. I'll put the dates in the newsletter and stuff like that. If anybody on the board has an inkling to teach, okay, or something like that, let me know and we can work on something together. Okay. Any questions about the community outreach on that level? Nope. Okay. Now I'm going to ask you, do you have any ideas for any other type of community outreach events? Okay. Next item on the agenda is the meetup site. Okay. I personally don't feel that we're making the best use of it. And granted, part of that is my fault because I am one of the administrators. But for the meetup site to be successful, I feel like we need additional hosts because it can't always be Victor leading a photo walk here or Victor leading a photo walk there. We need members leading members. Okay. You know, or at least, I mean, scoping out opportunities and stuff like that. Okay. So if we're not going to put it to its potential and get additional event hosts signed up, and that's one thing about, you know, successful meetup sites is that they have more than one person that is doing stuff. Okay. And one week, you know, photographer A is going downtown to the Riverwalk. Who wants to come? You know, and while we're down there, we'll grab lunch or something. And then photographer B is going to Johnson City for this, you know, who wants to go? So what are your thoughts? Okay. And if, and I'm fine either way. But if we are going to use it, then we can continue to try. We can try to beef it up. But if we're not going to use it, then I think we should just drop it and let it go by the wayside. So, what are your thoughts?
I think if we could come up with some sort of plan or calendar and then fill it in based on time of year, where the best areas are. So for example, I'm constantly Googling saying, you know, at this time, where's the best places to go to do a photo shoot or to do, you know, flowers or whatever. And so I've come across a couple of different things. Like there's this old house, and you all probably know this, north of Johnson City, where the bluebonnets bloom, and lots of photographers go out to that house and they take these gorgeous pictures. If we could find spots and times of year that are best to go, I think we're more apt to get people to participate and or lead, be the point person for making sure everybody meets up and then goes wherever we're going to meet up and then go out to do the shots. So that's my 2 cents.
You know, I think Frank knows where that place is at.
I was just there last Friday.
And was it blooming?
It was gorgeous. It was just
Yeah,
gorgeous.
I plan
And
to
there
go
was-
out on this Friday.
There was only about a dozen people there shooting from the same angle, so it was beautiful.
All right, everybody else?
I
Well,
like that idea. Good.
I think we have 3 or 4 members that are really active on Meetup, but I don't think the majority of the membership uses it that much. I'd say maybe we give it like 4 months till the next, or 3 months till the next board meeting, and let's see who shows up to Panera all the time or comes to the wine groups all the time. Like, who always shows up, and ask them to be co-leaders for the Meetup site, and start infusing it with some activities and events, and see if we get more participation. And if not, then we just drop it at the next board meeting.
Okay, somebody else was saying something.
Well, I liked Carol's idea of coming up with some nice locations depending on the time of year or even the subject that we're supposed to be shooting, for the next few months. I've been sort of just doing that informally by asking different people in the club. It didn't occur to me to put it on a meetup.
Okay, so the gist of what I got right now is let's give it 3 or 4 months and reevaluate.
Yeah.
Okay,
Do you think you could recruit some members to become co-leaders and start becoming more active on Meetup?
okay. I'll do that in the newsletter.
So
Oh.
would this be, if we're going to put something on Meetup, would it be, hey, there's a balloon festival happening, and just so everybody knows, or is it, hey, there's a balloon festival and I have to lead it to be there?
It could be either one, okay? But if you list the event, you have to specify in the description that this is not a led event. It's a show up on your own,
Okay.
okay?
Okay.
But to post on the meetup for our group, don't you have to be an admin or something?
Yes, and Carol, you're an admin, right?
Yes.
Okay, so is everybody here tonight on the meetup site?
I think I am.
Yes.
Okay, I know Holly's an admin, and is there anybody else?
Maybe me. I don't know.
I'll go in and look for everybody that's on the board, and if you're not already an admin, I'll make you an admin. And then I think what I'll do is start with the board and set a Zoom meeting to show you the ins and outs of posting an event, okay, on Meetup, so that you already have your admin set up so that you too can go in and make announcements, make an event, okay? And not only that, but you can go to a past event, and this really makes it easy. You can go to a past event and it pulls up the past event, and there's a little box there that says copy event, and it pulls up the event, and you basically just have to change the date. Okay, the time and date, and maybe some detail. If you're not doing exactly the same thing, maybe it's a different location 4 blocks away or somewhere like that than they met the first time. Just change that. So it's once you start, it's pretty easy. Okay. So first thing, and let me write this down so I don't forget, is I'll make sure everyone, if you're already on there, I'll find you and make you an admin. If I can't find you, I'll reach out to you and ask directly if you're on the site or not, and whether you want to be on the site or not. Yeah. Okay. And then step 2 would be to reach out to the membership to see if we can get membership to step up and be event leaders as well. And probably the first step in that is probably me hosting an event to train event hosts. Okay, say, well, this is the kind of stuff you got to think about when you go out and do a walk. So, okay. Any last comments before we move on? Okay. Possible education night. We've talked about this in the past, and we thought it'd be a good idea to every once in a while have an education night. So the 25th of April, I have the meeting room from the GVEC Shirts office reserved for 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. So the meeting would be something like 6:30 to 8:30 to conduct some type of photography education thing. Okay. What are your thoughts as far as what kind of topic should we start with? And we're just going to offer it out there. We're not going to make it, it's not, but nothing we do is mandatory, but just going to throw it out there because I just want to try to follow through on things we've talked about in the past.
So I wonder if we poll the membership to see what topics are they interested in, and then, maybe have them rank them, and then we can use that.
Okay, so let me ask this. Carol, are you an admin on the Facebook page?
I don't think I'm an admin.
Okay. Holly, can you make her an admin?
I'm looking at it right now.
Okay. Because, the first thing that started to come off the top of my mouth was, Holly, can you do a poll? And that's how we got to this point. It was always, Holly, can you do this? Holly, can you do that? Okay, so got to find avenues to.
So we can invite Carol to be a moderator or an admin.
Okay. Before I ask you to do it, Carol, are you okay with being an admin and doing a Facebook poll?
Sure, happy to.
Okay. So Holly, make her an admin. Then Carol, do the Facebook poll for our membership and poll them and announce we are doing an education night. Now it's a Tuesday night, I think.
It is. The 25th is a Tuesday.
Okay. And it's in Shirts. So make sure you let everybody know that so we don't have anybody show up at the library.
Yep.
And we're asking what kind of topics do you think you would like to see? Okay. Not guaranteed that we'll teach it because obviously if it's something I don't know how to do and I can't find anybody to teach it, it just ain't gonna happen. Okay, so.
I know, when we had the Shirts Club, we had Digital Pro Lab come out and talk about the different papers to print on. And so it would be also nice to perhaps have a guest speaker.
And I like that idea because if we're going to do Photo Septiembre, it would be good for people to understand options they have available for their prints.
Okay. I really like that idea. Okay, so I will reach out to Amanda. I tell you what, don't do the poll. Well, yes, do the poll, but suggest that I don't know how to do it. Go ahead and do the
So,
poll, see what
let's
everybody
just-
wants to do.
I can announce that in April, our topic will be from Photo Lab on.
Can't announce it until I get a buy-in
Yeah.
from Digital Pro Lab.
Yeah, if you get a buy-in, then let me know. And that could be the first one we do since we have a short.
And Digital Pro Lab may want us to come to their lab. And to be honest with you, that might not be bad either.
Yeah, I like that idea. So, and then we can poll for topic. I mean, I can generally poll for topics to say, you know, we plan on having an education session, what you said, once a quarter.
So do this. Yeah, once a quarter is what I'm going for.
Okay. And that we're looking to have topics that are in the interest of the club. And so if they would share topics that they're interested in, then, you know, we can set up sessions based on those topics.
That sounds awesome.
I have a question.
Okay.
I would be very interested in hearing from Digital Pro Labs, but I'm going to be away. Is there a chance that we're going to be recording these education meetings? Available so we can look at it later, or?
There is a good possibility. Okay. May not be able to do it live, but recording to be uploaded later, I can see that happening.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
All right. Okay. Is it okay to move on to the next item? Just hold your thumbs up if it is. Okay. All right. Next item is would like to see monthly photo. Oh, okay. Photo walks. Okay. COVID put a real COVID put a halt to us doing a lot of stuff. Okay. And we're coming out of COVID a lot slower than I anticipated. Okay. So I really would like us to get back to our pre-COVID activity. Okay. With that said, and I'll take most of the load on this. Okay. But what I'm saying is that, well, I'm going to try to get the enthusiasm going, but I need your help to encourage other members to step up and volunteer to do some stuff. Okay. I'm going to set a photo walk out in Luling. Okay. I went down to talk to Camera Exchange to see they converted their classroom into a studio, and it's a studio makeshift classroom because they can always move tables back in there and put chairs in. But when you go to Camera Exchange and you walk back there where the classroom was at, it's a studio, and they are using one corner has a setup, the middle wall has a setup, and then the other corner has a setup, and then the wall, the right side wall has a setup. The left side wall has a makeshift, it's some kind of metal bracket setup that put like you pull a shower curtain around, but it's for a model to get in, pull the curtain, and do a wardrobe change. Okay. And then on the back wall, they've got light modifiers and things of that nature that you can swap out with the lighting setup that they have. Now, you as a photographer can go down there and rent that studio space for so much per hour and do your photo shoot. I went down and said, hey, I'd like to bring my club down here, and I'd like to introduce them to the studio and show them how everything works, you know, because we may have some members that have never opened up a light stand and worked with a studio light, excuse me, and changed out light modifiers. And he goes, no, we don't allow anybody to teach in our studio because we teach classes. And there's a, well, okay, I hear what you're saying. And then I said, well, I came down here for two reasons. That was just one of them. The other one is we're doing this youth photography contest. And I'll be honest with you, I walked out of Camera Exchange like I had a sign on that said, I will work for prizes on some street corner. Okay. So that leads me to something that's not on topic is we've talked about Camera Exchange being our sponsor ever since Lucy left the store. And Lucy was the daughter of the owner, and she was their marketing person for a couple of years. But when she took over marketing, that store changed and everything turned around and they were pro photographer. But now that she's left, it seems like they're back to the way they were before Lucy took on the job as marketing person. And they don't seem, if it's not their event and they're not doing it, they don't seem to, or if it doesn't benefit them some way. And personally, I think if I brought down 15 club members and you saw that, well, here's a studio I could rent to do some work, that would be a benefit to them. They'd be able to rent out their studio more. You might buy gear while you're down there. But so that's what led me to my trip to Precision Camera this morning. And Precision Camera is on board with us doing something. So, and what this something is going to look like, we don't have all the details worked out yet because we're still going back and forth, is that we'll do a photo walk somewhere up in Austin. And then after the photo walk, we'll go to the store and hopefully use their classroom to do whatever we want to do, whether it's just share our photos or if one of us wants to talk about a topic for a little while. And then after that, go into the store and look around. Okay. So it's just something to consider. Okay. So look for that in the future. Okay. That's in the works. Before COVID, we did it once. We went down to the state capitol, did a morning photo walk around the capitol and inside the capitol. While we were inside the capitol, I taught a HDR class, how to shoot HDR. And then after the walk at the capitol, we went up to the Anderson Lane store. There was only one store back then, and had lunch at Hop Daddy's. And then after lunch, the store opened up. It was on, we did this on a Sunday. We purposely picked Sunday because we thought there'd be fewer people at the Capitol. From 1 to 2, you know, we had lunch 12 to 1, store opened at 1. from 1 to 2, we were in the classroom, and I presented a class on blending your images that you got at the Capitol into one image as an HDR image. Okay. With Lightroom, it's gotten so easy to do HDR now. That's obviously probably not a topic I would think we would have to work on. Maybe something else. But you know, we did an hour in the classroom, and then we packed up, came out, and some of us spent a lot of money. So that's in the works. Okay. Any thoughts? Anybody? Okay.
I like the idea.
Okay.
I do too.
Okay. So the Capitol is what we did. If you've got thoughts about where in Austin to go for the photo walk part of the day, let me know. Okay. All right. Let's see. Okay. Moving on. Group congratulations process. Okay. I believe Holly.
Yes, Patricia Jones sent in an email. When I sent out the group, the mass congratulations to the winner, a lot of people respond to that, congratulating whoever the winner was, but it comes back to our email account, not to the individual winner. So it's either reply all or reply just to me. And so Patricia was saying maybe there's a simpler way to congratulate members. I did, say in the email that, all the members are listed there, so she could just respond to that one person and say congratulations to that one person. If she didn't have their email address saved, it would be there available. But she said maybe we could post an announcement of the winner on Facebook along with a subject such as, it's the monthly assignment winner or the specific PSA winner. And then the member can click on the announcement in Facebook and leave congratulations there instead of getting multiple emails. And so I said I would bring it up at the board meeting.
Okay.
I agree with Patricia. Getting all those email notifications in my email box, it's a lot.
Okay. Other thoughts? Okay. My 2 cents is the Facebook. I think the Facebook posting, we could go an additional step and do a meetup posting as well. Okay.
Well, I already posted an announcement on Facebook.
Okay.
So all it is creating, I'm not sure, maybe we can just say, please don't respond to this email at the end of it. Like if you want to congratulate the winner, please congratulate them individually. And that way, or maybe I do blind carbon copy so it can't get a reply all. I'm not sure.
Well, if you
all
do,
you have to do is just hit delete in your inbox. So I'm like, I don't want to create a whole bunch of extra work for myself or somebody not wanting to get a couple of extra emails,
I like the idea of you creating the blind carbon copy and then maybe just putting the winner's email address somewhere and say, if you want to congratulate him, here's their
email.
address. Yeah.
That works.
Or link it out to the Facebook page for congratulations.
Well, it's already there.
Oh.
okay. So, well, Holly, if we just didn't send the email, that'd be one less thing for you to do, right?
Well, yeah, but then, some people don't have Facebook, so they wouldn't be notified that there was a winner. So how would they find out?
Okay, true. Well, hopefully they come to the meeting, find out.
Yeah.
But you're right. But I do like the idea of the blind CC, and then in the email say, this is our winner for so-and-so. and here's their email address if you would like to send them a congratulations note. And then that way they don't even reply to the email at all. Because if they reply, it's just going to come back to our email box, right, Holly?
Yeah.
Okay. And that's probably the better route to go. And with that said, the spidey sense in the back of my head, from being a cop for 35 plus years, blind CC is the way to go when you're dealing with people's personal information. There's so much spam out there, and one person forwards our email to somebody else, or their email account gets hacked, and there's an email with another 50 email addresses that they can potentially attack for spam. So we should probably make better use of the blind CC as much as we can.
Okay, no problem.
Okay. Okay, so Holly, we'll let you take the lead on that and move forward on that. And next time I see Patricia, I'll thank her for her input.
And I'll let her know also what the outcome was.
Okay, thank you. Okay, now I know the agenda says to go around the room, but I want to move newsletter up before we go around the room. So if anybody here not read the last newsletter that came out? Okay.
I'm sorry. I know the agenda, so I didn't know there was going to be something new in it. And so I just saw the agenda was attached and I didn't open it because.
Okay. All right. So listen, the newsletter is what I came up with to deal with us being cut an hour at the library, to cut the business out. So yes, the first part of the newsletter is the agenda. And to be honest with you, now that we've reduced an hour and we've decided as a board, we're just going to live with it and not go somewhere else or change the hours. I think that format is the way we need to go, or we'll never get any pictures done. Okay. So the newsletter will have to be our vehicle to conduct business. It will be slower on some issues, but it's just the way we're going to do business. So the monthly finance report. So with that said, Frank, I need the finance report as soon as possible. Okay. So that it will help me get the report out sooner. And are you able to send it to me as a Word document?
I should be able to. Let me
Okay.
check. All
If
we've
you
been doing is PDF.
if you
but-
are, that would make life a little easier.
Okay.
Okay. In getting it into the newsletter.
Okay.
I also want, and this is where Frank and Beverly, you come in, like to add a welcome note to new members, as you know, shortly after them becoming new members. So how many new members did we get last month? Last month we had membership. Was it all those memberships just renewals?
That I don't know.
I think there was a couple new, but I'm not sure. I'd have to.
Yeah,
go back and-
there were some that were new. Both, yeah.
I don't want to generate past work, but going forward, any new member we get, and I'm not counting renewals, but new members, let me know, hey, this is a new member. And I want to put them in the newsletter and welcome them to the club. Okay. I want a section in there from our PSA rep. and with that said, I want to let everybody know that Carol is officially our PSA rep as of April. Okay. So congratulations, Carol. Ye not know what you bite off. But we look forward to moving forward and already working with you and Dennis on the April submissions for the third round of Interclub, and talking to you about the individual competitions with PSA. I know that you will navigate the waters well. Okay. And thank you so much for taking the torch for the youth sponsorship as well. Okay. But with that said, and it doesn't have to be every month. Okay. But when there's something PSA related that you want the club to know about, send it to me in the form of like a magazine article. Okay. With new, from the desk of the PSA rep, okay, or from the desk of Carol. And my newsletter is nowhere up to the standard that it should be, okay. If I could hire someone, I would, but we're going to do the best we can. All right. And like I said, this is it as needed an update. Let's see. And some of those updates would be inner club updates, youth club updates, and then just general PSA stuff for members. Like, this month there's for PSA members, there's a webinar. Okay. And I know we all get those notices, but some people go weeks without reading their email. And, let's see. Upcoming club events for the month. Okay. I'm going to try to list upcoming club events for the month or the next 30 to 45 days each month. Okay, from the newsletter release date. Okay. And would like to release newsletters the first week of each month. So with that said, if anybody has anything that you think is newsletter worthy or business worthy, you need to get it to me as soon as possible, so that I can do my best to get it in the newsletter before it goes out. Okay. And if you have an idea for the newsletter, let me know. Okay. I mean, we can have from the desk of the social media director, from the desk of the CFO.
Pay your dues.
Pay your dues.
Okay. Okay. Sound good,
Okay.
everybody?
Victor, are you going to be sending it out, or are you going to be sending it to me to send out?
I'd like to, well, I sent out the last one because we didn't have a lot of time.
Mhm.
And if I get better at producing it in a respectable time frame, I'd like to send it to you so you could send it out. Because I'll be honest with you, a second set of eyes on it that could wordsmith it, okay, and check it for errors would really be awesome.
Okay,
Okay. Is that okay with you?
that's okay. Mhm.
Okay, thank you.
And then I wonder if we can put a copy of the newsletter on our webpage under the news tab. Just a thought.
That's a great idea.
That is a good idea. Mhm.
You know what I could do is I could link it to the actual meeting where the calendar, because we have calendar and events on the same page. So the calendar where it says for like April's meeting, I can make that a hot link that goes to the newsletter, and we can put an asterisk like until people know that that's where to find it, that this is where to find the newsletter.
Would that be easier than sending it out via email to everybody?
Well, they'd still need to know to go there to find it. So I would
That's
say
true too.
probably for
Yeah.
at least a year, we'd need to email it just to get people used to the change.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we need to email it.
Okay. All right. Okay. So that's the newsletter. Hang on for just a second. I got a fur baby here. Come on, baby. Relax. All right. I'll be done. We'll be done in just a little bit.
I know my dog is snoring so loud. I was wondering if you could hear her.
Okay. All right. We're gonna do our around the room. Okay. And this is where y'all get to share your wisdom with us. But I'm gonna share mine first. Okay. The first item I have on my around the room is I talked to Albert. Okay. And Albert has asked to resign his position as vice president. Okay. And as president, I accepted his request. Okay. And until his situation changes, he'll let us, and it's not dire. Okay. And it's not, it's not health related. But now that things are really cranking at work, okay, there's sometimes he's not even at home. Okay. So he's doing a lot of traveling.
Does he want to be continue to be involved in like communications? Because he hasn't paid dues either. So I was going to drop him from our member list starting in April.
Well, yeah, for right now we should drop him.
Okay.
Okay. And I noted the membership roster I got still had people that did not have a date by the date dues are paid. Okay. So for the roster I have, I'm just going to go ahead and go through and delete the, well, I'm going to copy all those lines and paste them at the bottom below our lifetime membership people, just so that we'll have their info and can go back to them if we want to send something to non-members and try to get them back. But then that way, all our current paid members will be moved up. So when I copy all the email addresses to put in for the BCC, I'll have it'll only be paid members. And with that said,
I'm going to write a really good tutorial for everybody to be able to use the Gmail account, because then you don't have to worry about all of that, because I've saved every single contact we've ever had. And we have them sorted by labels. So paid members, you can just click paid members and you got all the emails, boom, right there. You don't have to sort or anything.
okay.
So I've written a tutorial before, but we've got this, like, I don't know how to turn off this 2-factor authentication for Gmail. So anytime anybody tries to get into it, it like blocks it. And I am not sure how to get around that. So I'm going to take that on and try to figure out how to disable it so we can have multiple getting into it without having to do that authentication.
Okay. And Beverly, with that said, Beverly, because we're kind of running out of time before the next meeting, I'll probably just send the next newsletter out without sending it back to you.
Okay.
But next month's newsletter, probably this time frame right now, I'll forward to you what I have, and you can maybe polish it up and then send it out.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I can do that.
All right. Okay. So with that said, we are now without a vice president. My recommendation is that we don't immediately try to fill the position. Okay. And the precedent, I'm going to support that decision with, is that when Melissa was president, we lost a director. Okay. And she chose for the rest of the year not to fill it. Okay. And that was fine. Okay. So for right now, and this may change by the next board meeting, I don't know, but for right now, I would prefer not to put trying to fill that position on our plate, okay? And just let it rest out there for a little while, and then revisit the issue either at the next board meeting or the one after that. Okay. Your thoughts?
I think that's
I'm
fine.
good with that.
It's a
Okay.
good idea.
Next thing I have is updated one. Okay, I already told everybody Carol's PSA rep. So, hey, Carol, in May, you and I need to do a Zoom and
Okay.
go in and update the PSA account with you as the rep, okay?
Okay.
All right, but I don't want to do that until interclub is over, because I don't want to mess up communications making it back to Dennis, because the director of that competition has a direct link to Dennis. You
No
know,
worries.
Okay. Okay, great. Holly, has the interclub black and white and color for second round been announced?
Yeah, all that was sent out. All the results were sent out already.
Okay, on Facebook?
Facebook and email a couple weeks
Okay.
ago.
Oh, okay.
We
Okay,
didn't get any like awards of merit or anything this time.
okay. PSA accounts in May. Okay, 1, 2. Oh,
Do you want
Ne-
those to be in the slideshow?
no. Any Facebook, well, first off, results back from PSA, would prefer not to, I prefer, well, contest results like interclub, I'd like to send out in the newsletter. And then after the newsletter's been released, do a Facebook post. Okay. And that's only because I'm looking for content for the newsletter. Okay. If we get to the point to where, okay, just do a Facebook post. Or if we get back to where we can actually have a longer meeting, then we'll go back to adding stuff, extra curriculum stuff to the presentation. But right now the presentation is just going to be really simple. Welcome. I don't know. I forget what I did last month, but we almost got directly into the results. Okay. Now, even though I have the results this time, Holly, I'll send them to you next week.
We can
Mhm.
include them in the slideshow. I mean, we can include the comments from the judges.
I
I could put it as a note, even like under the master note, you know, how you can, I don't know how you view the slideshow when you're sharing, but I don't know. Since we got them back, I just don't want to set a precedent because they're not always this efficient.
Exactly. And because it's not like that all the time, I thought it'd be okay just to go with the judge's comments and then show their photos the way the judge
Yeah, the before
envisioned
and
the
afters are
photos.
great. Yeah.
But since we can't count on doing it that way all the time, I think on the occasion it does happen, we could do it that way, but then we just need to have membership feedback. And because I didn't get any updated photos with this critique, I only got critiques, no reworked photos. I wasn't even going to bring it up this time until after the meeting, and then I was going to send out the results. But anytime someone takes that extra step and time to rework some of the photos and say, maybe you can better understand what I'm trying to say if you look at the picture. I thought that was, going a step beyond what's expected of them. And I thought the membership would appreciate it. So, but you're absolutely right. Members come there to share. And one way of sharing is giving their feedback to other members. And I think that's valuable feedback. So the next item I have is Ralph has been our volunteer coordinator for about 4 years now. And I would like to thank him for that service and give someone else an opportunity to serve as volunteer coordinator and be able to add something to their photographic resume. So be it. Okay. So if the board is okay with it, the only business thing that I will do, and this is at the beginning of every meeting, I have these awards for people that haven't been coming to the meetings to give them, and I wanted to give them to them in the meeting, but some of these I've had for a while, so I think I'm just going to put them in an envelope and mail them. But at the meeting, I'd like to recognize, any recognition I'd like to do it shortly right after the welcome and then get into the photos. Okay. So one of the things I want to do at the next meeting is recognize Ralph for his valued service, and then announce a new volunteer coordinator. Okay. What are your thoughts on that?
Good.
Sounds
Everybody
good.
okay? Everybody okay with that?
Are you going to ask for a volunteer, or are you going to recruit someone to take his place?
I'm going to recruit someone.
Good.
And I will have I'm going to reach out tomorrow and should have an answer by tomorrow night. Okay. The next art mixer is June 6th. I don't know who will be invited. Okay. I mean, we're not invited to every art mixer. She tries to spread the wealth around. Okay. But if we are, well, for any future art mixer, what we need to do, and granted, 99% of the time, I'm the POC. Okay. So I'm the president. I'm the face of the club to the council. When the council asks for something, I come back to the club, then I go back to the council with a response. So if we're invited to the next art mixer, just like the first art mixer we went to, I was the POC. I reached out, people contacted me. I responded back, said, I have this many photographers. We need this much wall space. And that's the way it went. Okay. We don't want to, and should I not be available and the responsibility fall to someone else to be the POC, we don't want to let the entire membership bombard the council with requests. Okay. We need to be the conduit to funnel that request. So, the council needs to say, I got room and I think you can fit 3 artists, 4 artists, or this is the space I've got for you. You fill it the best way you see fit. And then we decide how we make that work. Okay. The next one is June 6th. I will find out as soon as possible if we're able to participate in that one, as a participant, or if we go and just be a fly on the wall and enjoy the free food. Okay. And don't, because of my medical situation with my eyes, it is very likely that there may come a time to where I just call someone on the board and say, hey, look, I need some help. Or I email you and say, I need some help. I need you to pick this up and run with it. Okay. All right. And that's just,
Victor, I just want to get some clarification. I still get those emails requesting favors from you.
okay. Hey, that's on my list.
Okay.
But thanks for bringing it up, because right after Art Mixer, it says there's a little note at the bottom that says turn over. Okay. And on the back side, email scams. Okay. Thank you very much for that segue into this topic. I will never ask a member or a board member to go out and buy gift cards. Okay. I will not ask you to send me money to do something. Okay. And this happens every year between January and May. Okay. Because new board officers go up, or new board is announced, and the scammers pick up on that and go, oh, they got a new president. They don't know what's going on, so yeah, so let's hit them while they're still spinning.
And I'll just
Yeah.
say they got me. I bought one gift card. I didn't send it to I did send one gift card, and then I called Victor because I couldn't get the other two. And I said, Victor, did you ask for this? And he was like, no. So my credit card company is working with me to get that resolved. But yeah, they got me.
I got the same email asking to buy a bunch of Amazon gift cards, and then it got really sketchy when it said, okay, scratch off the number on back and then send me a picture of it. Like,
I just
like
hit reply
I-
and see what.
what I said to people is I was born at night, but not last night.
If you hit reply, you can see what email address it came from, and it often will have like .77CCC or something weird, and it's not a real email account. That's the easiest way to check, is just hit reply and see what.
And I saw that. I saw that the email address was kind of sketchy, and I put a block on it and notified.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Problem solved.
Yeah.
So normally, I mean, for the last 3 years, and I don't know why the first January board meeting every month, every year, we don't say something about this, but I can tell you Sharon has gotten that email, and a couple other people have gotten it in years past, and I guess I just assume, well, if somebody gets that email, they say, well, that's pretty stupid to ask Victor, but hey, Victor, yeah. And I just said, no, not from me. And one person contacted me and said, hey, I think your email account got hacked. Did you send me an email about that? I said, no. So I'm letting the board know, and that is the only business I'm going to conduct next Monday night. Is I'm going to let the membership know that no one on this board will ever email you asking you to go buy a gift card. We might go ask you to request a donation of a gift card, but not to go buy one. Okay. And I might, when we're standing somewhere talking, say, well, this would be good. And you think, well, I can pick. Person B would say to me, well, I can pick it up on the way home and bring it to the meeting. And well, that's face to face or phone to phone. We'll go ahead and do that, and I'll make sure you get reimbursed or something like that, because we're just handling business. But the way we do that is face to face. No, enough said. So, okay. And that's all I got. Now it's time for around the room. And I have my pencil ready for everything you got. We'll start with Beverly.
I really don't have anything.
Oh, come on now. Okay,
No.
all righty. Frank,
Nothing new from me.
Carol,
I want to see Frank's pictures of the blue bonnets. That's it.
okay. Good to know. All right. Um, any Suzanne?
No,
No, got
Okay.
nothing.
All right. Neither one of you?
Nope.
Okay. Uh, and y'all keep bouncing around. Whoever not gotten, oh, Holly?
Yeah, just two minor digital housekeeping items. One is that we have a member with us tonight, James McGaw. He is a new member to the club, and I invited him to come tonight because he said he's in IT, and when he was looking at the PSA requirements, because he's a PSA member and whatever, they don't like any special characters in their file naming. And we allow the ampersand with the black and white for our file naming conventions, and we allow spaces between words, like first name and last name. And he said that's a big no-no in the IT world, and we might want to consider having a different file naming convention. Now I've been doing this for 6 years. We've never had anything bounce back because of how the files are named. But I told him I would bring it up to the meeting and invited him to attend as well. So that was one item. I have a second item to talk about too, but I think we should address file naming.
Okay. Is James still here? Or did I bore him to death and he left?
Well, he's here.
Okay. Well, James, speak up and talk to us a little bit. Okay. Well, it might be technical different. I don't see him listed up here on my screen, but
I see him listed, but I don't see him on video.
okay. Well, and he's a PSA member?
Mhm.
And
I think
Yeah.
that's what he mentioned. Let's see, he's unmuted, but I'm not hearing him, so I'm not sure. Let me go back to the email. No, he just said in reading a bunch of the PSA stuff, I came across a naming convention that stated no special characters such as ampersand.
and what's his last name? Because like I
McGaw.
said,
McGaw.
okay, he's not on he might be on the membership roster I have, but there was no PSA number next to his name. Beverly, is he on the membership roster?
I'd have to look.
Yeah, he just paid dues at the last meeting, but I don't know if he's a PSA member.
all right,
Oh.
I need to go. Okay, I gotta cut out. I've got a couple of things I need to do. Okay.
Okay, Suzanne, thanks for hanging in there.
All right. Good night.
Okay, so for sure. Okay, I see him now. Okay, now that we
Yeah.
lost a body. So he's an IT person, but we don't know if he's a PSA person.
Correct.
Okay, all right. Well, let's just stick with the IT stuff for right now until we can get a clarification.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. we
Oh,
can.
hey, James.
How are
Hi.
you all?
Thank you.
I read, I spent hours on the PSA side. I'm not a member yet. I'm a PPA member, but not a PSA member. And I was just reading all their stuff, and most of the stuff that you enter, they don't care because they run it through a program and they rename it so that it's one, ambiguous, and two, it doesn't clog up any of their engines. But there was one, I think it's on the children's, one of the children's photos things that apparently the way they don't rename them and it actually stated no special characters. And uh, the ampersand is a very special character in your web browser. If you'll look up there and go look at anything, and you'll see the question mark and percent and the ampersand, they all mean something really special, and also in programming. And luckily, all the stuff that I use here at home, the only thing I restrict is I don't do any special characters myself, even spaces, because it gets in the way of any number of command line and HTML programming. And if I had the ampersand in the name and I throw it out on a website without changing the name, it will it will not do what it was supposed to do. Same thing with space. You have to do all kinds of special stuff. So not that it really matters, because it doesn't really affect anyone. I just noticed it and brought it up to Holly, because to me, it was a reason I didn't do a lot of things in the IT world around that regular people could actually, like on a corporate network, actually put PDF documents on a HTML page, because everybody's used to all this eye candy of being able to put spaces, and about the only thing you can't put in a name on a Mac is a /, and then on Windows is a /. And other than that, it really doesn't care, because it's all GUI on top. But down underneath, it does matter. That's why you see a lot, anything that you pull up on a web, 90% of the times won't have a space in it because of that. And PSA, for most part, actually just renames to get away from all of that. So it's just something I noticed whenever I was reading, because I'm technical. It's what I've done all my life, most of it. So I just wanted to bring it up. If it hasn't caused any problems, I don't see any, as long as I don't have to create a special name just to email it and then delete the file, because that's just a lot of work, because it will not survive my backup systems. And I won't put, even Capture One, which is what I use, will let you put anything but the in Windows, but the / in it when you compile a file name. But I don't do it because it won't go through my system. So because I work, it's just the way I do stuff. So it's just something I wanted to bring up. I brought it up to Holly, and she said she would bring it up here, and I wanted to listen to your meeting anyway, so I kind of understand how you guys did things, because I'm brand new to it. So it's all I had. It's really not a big deal. I use the capitalization instead of a space whenever I'm writing, 2 or 3 words that mean something. And I use underscores when I have to space out numbers and dashes in between. But that's how I deal with it. But as long as it's not caused any trouble, then I guess it's not a big deal. I just thought it was kind of odd.
Hey,
Thank you.
James, what about the and symbol?
That's what I was talking about. The space is a problem too in a lot of stuff, but the and's a bigger problem.
Yeah, because we use the and symbol in black and white.
Yeah, and BW conveys exactly the same thing as putting an and in it. So it's just a human convention, and they've had to do a lot of hoops to make the GUI of the computer conventions to where they're people friendly.
Okay.
Remember the
Well-
old 8.3? I do. It's still there, actually.
Okay. Well, thanks for the input, James, and welcome to the club. Hopefully we'll see you at the meeting on Monday night.
I intend to be there if nothing happens.
Okay. All right.
Alrighty.
And Holly, as I understand it, dealing with the website, you don't have a problem right now, right?
No, but it's certainly easy enough to just ask people to take the ampersand out of the file names. Honestly, you guys, so few people get the file names right every month. I have to edit just about half to 2/3 of all the file names because people put in stuff they don't need. They call it auto instead of assignment. They, I mean, like it's a mess every month. So
Okay,
it doesn't really. It would be great if we had a convention that everyone followed, but it just doesn't happen.
okay,
I've never once had a month where I haven't had to rename files.
okay.
Is there any automation in your system at all, or you just do it to make it a pretty convention, a GUI?
We have it that way so that things come in alphabetically and I can put all of the assignment images together and all the color images together. And I don't have to just like, okay, what the file name was that? Which category does it go to? It's just an easy way to sort.
Okay,
Maybe we should discuss that at the next meeting on Monday, the naming convention, just to
That-
get everybody on the same page.
That's,
No, I don't
bus-
agree.
that's business and
no,
I'm not
That's a
gonna do it.
board decision, not a club decision, in my opinion.
okay.
no,
Is
I was
everybody
thinking
has
more
many
informational, not,
We got 35 active members. We don't want them all coming with ideas. I think that the 8 of us can decide.
no,
Well, and
I wasn't
every-
suggesting that we open it up for everyone's comment. I was suggesting that maybe people need to be reminded on what the convention is.
Yeah, I do that like every 6 months. It doesn't really make a difference.
Well, it's every time you send the email out, it says exactly how to do it, and it says it on the website, and
Okay,
people still can't follow directions.
It's not that big.
And I'm laughing, but maybe I'm one of them. I don't know.
I admit I'm one of them. I because it doesn't work in my system. If I named it exactly like that and I ran my backup script, I wouldn't get a backup of that export. It just wouldn't do it. It'd skip it. It
Well,
error.
James, you name it how you need to name it to get it out of your system to us, and then
Yeah,
Holly will take care of it on the other end.
the spaces is the only thing I left out because the ampersand in my scripting didn't make any difference.
Okay. All
I
right.
tested it just to see, but the
Okay.
spaces do. So
All right. Well, thanks for your input, James, and
you're welcome.
we look forward to seeing you on Monday.
Okay.
So everybody, I've been going on for a long time. So
Well, there was one other thing that we said we were going to talk about at this meeting was artificial intelligence, AI, and assignment images that we need to clarify that if you use any AI, you cannot use it in assignment images, and we need to add that then to our rules and our website. So is
okay.
that
So-
we are firm on like just for assignment images, right?
Okay, hang on for just a second. Rest of the board, what are your thoughts on what Holly just said?
I agree.
I agree.
I agree.
agreed.
Okay, make it so, Holly.
Easy,
and
love
then-
it.
And then after you fix it on the website, send me a small write-up, and it'll either go, depending on when you do it, it'll either go in this newsletter or the next one.
Okay, I can do it tomorrow.
I know I'm not on the board. Can I interject something?
Sure.
You're more than welcome to add a comment.
You need to define what AI is, because a lot of stuff that we do now on the computer is AI in a sense, but the AI that I think you're talking about is the AI that compiles pictures from nothing and not you using the computer. HDR technically is an AI. Using Lightroom for HDR is AI, but it's your picture. You took all 3 of them. You created it. It's even written out in the PSA rules that way. But going out here to one of these AI programs and grabbing 1 million pictures off the web and stacking them together, that's not your work. So just define what AI is, because PSA does. You might need to read their rules on it because they define it.
Yeah.
Just
You're right. You're right, James, and I think we're all on the same sheet of music here. I mean, Lightroom, every one of the modules in Lightroom has an auto button, and it just moves things around, and then okay, I like that, or I don't like it, and you start changing some stuff, or you don't change stuff. That's AI. That's Lightroom using its AI to, okay, I see the picture, but I think it ought to be a little lighter, a little darker here, you know, a little more contrast, a little dehazing. We've always done that. Okay. And even if you have the most simple program, the Windows JPEG viewer, there's an edit button, and the next button after that is auto, you know, and so that I believe in board, correct me if I'm wrong, we've always done that, and that's perfectly acceptable. James, when he says the computer programs to where you go in and you type in words and those words are generated into a picture, that's AI that we don't want in the assignment category. Oh, am I right?
Yeah, where you're starting with nothing, or you're starting with your image and you're adding things to the image that are generated by
Yeah,
other pieces of the image are generated by the computer.
yeah. Okay. Yeah. Me, I'd be starting with the Webster Dictionary.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, Holly, you're on the right track. Go ahead and do what you said you were going to do.
Got it.
Okay. All right. All right. All right. Last time you got something to say it now. Holly's fixing to stop the recording. If you want to say it after the recording, that's fine. All right, Holly, stop the recording, and I'm declaring the meeting officially over.